Sapporo. Big up, yeah, bro. Sapporo, West Side.
Beauty of Japan, and this picture comes
My
up.
face comes up.
There is sweat in places that I didn't know could sweat.
Got a study here, conducted by Brand Research Institute. Never heard of them. Before I met you, not that we're dating.
But 1-2 punched. Fuck off out of here.
You cannot take a picture of that now without someone's head in your frame. Sugoi! Then you start realising that even though you're wearing gloves, your hands are fucking freezing. My dad knows about her and he's a fucking quality skier. I hope he doesn't hear this because I always say shit.
Thank you. Sapporo is the best. Woo woo, #1, baby.
Alright, Joe, how's it going?
It's going pretty well, thank you.
Long time no see.
Well, I mean, for the viewers, it's a long time no see. We've seen each other many times.
We kind of play FIFA every single day, but...
Yeah, it's. I mean, the country's hit by Corona, there's fuck all else to do.
Yeah, podcast-wise, long time no see.
Long time no see.
Yeah, Japan is in a state of emergency, I guess, even though they're actually not doing shit all.
Yeah, Hokkaido retracted their state of emergency like a week ago.
Yeah.
But now Tokyo are realising very quickly that they are up shit creek without a paddle.
Yep. So we thought, wow, what better way to enjoy your time at home than to listen to a podcast about Hokkaido, which is where we live.
This one's not about Corona, thankfully.
I mean, we have just been speaking about Corona, but it's not about Corona. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Corona was bound to come up.
In a time of uncertainty, and many people in many other countries having to like self-quarantine, it's not been the best start to 2020. We wanted to throw out some positivity about where we live, which is a wonderful, wonderful place called...
Oh, Hokkaido. That's the... I didn't realise you were...
When I point to you, it's like...
It's like we finish each other's...
dicks.
Welcome to the Hokkaido podcast.
Right. Are you going?
No, I was going to do a speech then. You interrupted me.
You prepared an intro?
Yeah, I have. Right. Okay, right. Here we go.
go.
Listen to this. Okay, here we go. Hokkaido.
Sorry, it sounds like someone
How else was I going to start it?
Hokkaido by Declan Spindler.
At least you know my full name now. Right.
I know your middle name, but I won't subject you.
Say it. I love it. Right.
Declan Lawrence Spindler.
Yeah. Boom. Okay. Hokkaido, Japan's most northern and largest prefecture, formerly known as Ezo, is a land full of rich history, unique Ainu culture, scorching summers, blistering windy winters, bears, beaches and beautiful mountain ranges. From the resplendent lavender fields in Furano to whale watching off the coast of Shirotoko, from Hell Valley to the depths of the earth in Noboribetsu, to the open-air onsens with out-of-this-world views in Josanke. From the massive star-shaped Western-style citadel that is the Fort Goryokaku in Hakodate, to the bustling streets of the city that never sleeps, which is, of course, Sapporo. Whether you're old, young, by yourself or in a group, a seasoned veteran or a first-time visitor, Hokkaido will surely forever hold a special place in your heart.
What travel site did you rip that from?
I made that.
Bullshit.
I made that, yeah. I mean, it did take like 2 hours, but when I was at school, yeah, I just thought, I'd bang that out. Honestly, it did take 2 hours because I was just...
Was it worth it?
I mean, it's like 7 lines in 2 hours.
I enjoyed it.
It doesn't seem like you're enjoying it. You're mocking me.
Yeah, I don't really...
We're meant to be bigging up Hokkaido, which I tried to do, and now you bring me back down, mate.
Don't worry, we've got another, however long we can ramble on for to encourage people to come here.
But Hokkaido is a place, I think, that when people think of Japan, they don't include Hokkaido.
Yeah.
Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto.
It tends to, for most people at least, it tends to go under the radar when it comes to their Japan itinerary, especially for people who are coming here for the first time. Obviously, most people, when they think of Japan, they think of somewhere like Tokyo or maybe Kyoto, and sometimes Osaka. Don't know why. Osaka's shithole.
Dirty.
Yeah, dirty shithole. Yeah, it tends to kind of fly under the radar a little bit. People don't necessarily include it on their Japan itinerary. And you understand why from kind of a neutral perspective. And it's from Tokyo, if you're going there, you want what can be considered like pure Japan experience. You want what you can get. You probably want to go and see like the neon lights of, most places in Tokyo. You want to see like the nice gardens, probably eat Tokyo has incredible food, some of the best on earth. You want to experience all of that, and the easiest place for you to do so is Tokyo. And people don't necessarily consider that when you can travel, you are not limited to the Shinkansen in Japan, and that's probably for the best as well.
Because some people say, Hokkaido is kind of too far or off the
600
beaten path.
miles from Tokyo.
It's not.
If you want to go to Osaka from Tokyo, it's a 2.5 hour Shinkansen ride. It's 13,000 yen, about $130 one way.
Yeah.
If you want to come to Sapporo, where everything is inherently cheaper anyway, and
Quick
better,
flight.
it's, you can get a return flight for as cheap as $70.
Yeah.
It usually ranges to about 100 to 150. A return flight, and it's from Haneda to New Chitose, it's like an hour and a half. Less time than it would take for you to get to Osaka.
And it's very strange that more people don't come here. Like, I've got a study here conducted by Brand Research Institute. Never heard of them, but
Oh, that's always good for sourcing things. Never heard of them. Let's use their information anyway.
They did a study to try and find the most attractive prefecture in Japan. They found that the last consecutive 10 years, Hokkaido was number one.
Yeah, and it always is. And it's always number one for like resident satisfaction.
Yep.
It's number one.
Nature.
Yeah. It's
price.
I'm pretty sure it's number one for where the rest of Japan want to travel to as a holiday destination.
Yeah. The rest of Japan always vote Hokkaido as their number one like place they want to go to as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I always say that, Japan will provide you an authentic, Sapporo, Hokkaido will provide you an authentic Japanese experience if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But there's so much else aside from that.
Yeah.
It is like, culturally, it's very much forged its own identity.
Yeah.
Sapporo itself is only I think it's under 150 years old. It started it started around the same time that Aston Villa Football Club did.
Who?
Hey, you know what? I've just noted you're wearing your Newcastle hoodie and I'm wearing my Villa one. This is like aggression across the table.
Yeah.
So it's a city that's about 150 years old. It was started mostly through agriculture. So a lot of American people came here, taught Japanese people their way of agriculture.
Yeah.
And that's why to this day Hokkaido's produce is still the best in Japan. It's still what everyone wants in
very
Japan.
fresh.
It's shipped so often. It doesn't stay here. It's shipped to the rest of Japan for them to consume.
Yeah.
And we're famous for our dairy, sorry deck, our melon, potatoes.
Sorry, Deck.
You can eat these.
Yeah, I know.
Just dairy you can't
I know.
And dairy,
It's expensive though, the melon.
potatoes, melon. It is
Really
seafood, which is incredible. Corn.
Yeah, I mean, so much so that we have corn chocolate that people buy.
And I thought I'd hate it.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's pretty good. But
Very surprisingly.
Yeah, but the smell of corn soup still makes me want to vomit.
Sometimes like it, depending on where you go. But back to like the most attractive prefecture, which basically like state or county. The top 10 cities in Japan, 4 of them are in Hokkaido. Number 1, Hakodate, which is in the southernmost point of Hokkaido.
And
Where-
I have lots to say about Hakodate. I fucking love it.
Yeah. Well, the Shinkansen
Does
has
go.
finally, the bullet train, for those of you who don't know Shinkansen, it's finally reached Hokkaido. Not yet Sapporo.
No.
Another
11 years.
11 years,
2031
yeah.
it's projected.
It's meant to come to Sapporo.
But Hakodate is wonderful. But after like a couple of days, there's not much else to do there.
Yeah, 2 days. It's got that like the thing Goryo-kaku, which I said, which is the massive kind of
It's like a pentagon.
yeah, literally, it's like the massive
summoning
star.
Cthulhu or something.
Yeah.
But so there's Hakodate. What number was that?
That was number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah, so Hakodate
The most
was
attractive
voted most
cities?
attractive city in Japan. This is not the last 10 years, which was Hokkaido every year. This is 2019.
Right.
Next is Kyoto. Fair enough, but too many foreigners these days. I'm not being
it's not even
racist. I just mean that you can't enjoy it because it doesn't feel like
the problem
Japan.
with Kyoto is that they have their tourism industry is so huge, and they just don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah, they don't know what to do anymore. Trying to take a picture of the Golden Temple, you cannot take a picture of that now without someone's head in your frame.
Gotta learn to Photoshop, and that's a lengthy process.
Yeah.
Kyoto, it's just like the infrastructure can't handle the amount of tourists that it has.
Yeah. Still attractive though.
I mean, it's
very
beautiful.
open roads and stuff.
You cannot understate how beautiful Kyoto is.
I love Kiyomizu.
But that's if you get
Temple,
to
yeah.
see it.
Number 3, Sapporo. Big up, yeah, bro. Sapporo West Side.
Oh god.
Number 4, Otaru. So already in the top 3, we've got Hakodate, Kyoto, Sapporo. Number 4, Otaru, which is also in Hokkaido.
Yeah.
And then down at number 7 is Furano. So let's go back to Otaru.
Yeah, let's do a quick breeze through
City,
each of them.
Yeah.
So Otaru, 40 minutes from
Sapporo.
Sapporo. It was developed a long time before Sapporo, and then Sapporo kind of overtook Otaru.
Yeah.
And it's a port town. They had a lot of things go out and come in there.
Yeah.
It's noticeably older than Sapporo, noticeably smaller.
Yeah.
The seafood's fantastic.
Yeah. It's very nice, that kind of main roads down by the river, and there's shops either side, and it's very Japanesey, I think, then.
Yeah, it's also, and that's the thing is, when I think of Otaru, except for the fact that it has like a university, the town itself, I'd consider it a town because of how small it is.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to go and visit. It's
again like Hakodate, 2 days.
And that's the beauty of it, is
yeah.
like you want to go see something, just pop in, come
Yeah.
out. But it's famous for glass blowing.
Yeah.
Its music boxes.
Yeah. Wine as well.
Oh yeah, it's wine.
It's
I mean,
nice.
which is like, I found out recently as well how prevalent Hokkaido wine is across Japan again.
Yeah.
Another thing, again, because of the agriculture and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
amount of like, wilderness, not wilderness, but like crops and plants and everything there are.
Hakodate, Otaru, number 7 on the list, Furano. Have you ever been to Furano?
I've never been. It's like...
You know, like...
Lavender,
yeah. So, literally, I think when you come into Chitose Airport, there should be a massive sign saying welcome to Hokkaido, and there's a huge lavender field. That is Furano.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing. I've been here 7 years, and I've been to Furano twice, both times in winter. So I've never seen the lavender fields myself.
We need to go there.
But I have been there, yeah.
It's something that I've very much earmarked as a place to go. It's one of those things where so many people will send me a message, and it's like a random thing on Twitter. It's like beauty of Japan, and this picture comes
and my
up.
face comes up.
Oh, well, moving on. So many people will say like, oh my God, because it's these huge lavender fields and just completely covered.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah. And so it is one of those things that
you can get like lavender ice cream, and
which is
like
a lot better than I would have
lavender
expected.
Gelato and lavender wine, and everything is just like lavender based there.
Yeah.
Actually, back home where I live, literally 2 minutes from my house, there's lavender fields. It's huge, and you can go there, have like nice like coffee, tea, biscuits, whatever, lavender stuff there. And it's now really touristy for Japanese people. My mum went there like around October last year, and she said there were so many Japanese tourists there, and she didn't want to speak to them because it was maybe rude, or she didn't speak any Japanese anyway. But we were both talking to each other, and we were like, do you reckon they're like from Hokkaido? Because Furano obviously has the lavender fields here, and that place near my house is one of the most famous spots in England for it.
Right.
But it's like we live in like a tiny village, tiny village, and there's these busloads of Japanese people just turning up now like, suddenly.
If they print a tour book about it, like a guidebook, then people will go to it. So it's like the Cotswolds, which is huge amongst Japanese people. They even have signs in Japanese.
Oh my God,
there.
yeah,
and
they
like
do.
lavender fields. So it's like if they have guidebooks, they will go. But
it's crazy, the Cotswolds, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like I do want to go to Furano. It's one of those places where I feel kind of guilty that I haven't been yet. Yeah. I've seen a lot of other parts of Hokkaido. But I mean, in terms of most attractive cities, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It is a very attractive cities.
Yeah. So we'll get back to Sapporo. But
save the best for last.
Next city, not on the list, maybe because it's not a city, but Noboribetsu.
So
fucking amazing.
Noboribetsu is arguably my favourite place on earth.
Wow. Quickly for the listeners, the nickname of Noboribetsu is Hell Valley.
Noboribetsu is an onsen town, so a hot spring town, sulfur. It's right up in the mountains. Noboribetsu town, and then there's like
it's south of Sapporo. Yeah.
So with the town, it's just a normal town, but then you drive up into the mountains, these mountain roads, and you enter this town that is pretty much just hotels, but it's ryokan, which are like the fancy old Japanese hotels,
all like staggered up the hill,
and like tatami beds and everything like that. But you go up, and the idea of Noboribetsu is it has these sulfuric springs called Jigoku Dani.
Oh yeah, Dani,
is valid.
Yeah, it's Jigoku. Like Tani, Jigoku. I don't know what Jigoku means.
Probably hell.
Hell, yeah, Jigoku Dani. Okay,
I think it's Jigoku Dani.
That makes sense. Jigoku, that's my new word.
Well, I mean, please.
Thanks for tuning in to the Japanese lesson. See you next week, everyone.
With the person who barely speaks any Japanese, hence. So we'll fact check that, but the idea is that it is like this not portal to hell, but it's like an area where hell is accessible kind of thing.
Yeah.
Surrounding the town all throughout there are Oni statues, Oni being Japanese demons.
Yeah.
And they just litter the entire town. They're everywhere. They're around all the hotels, in the actual sort of village and pavilion and everything like that. And Oni are famous for their spiked clubs, right?
Yeah.
So they've got like the areas where it's like a circle that's comprised entirely of Oni bats. Or
Yeah,
clubs.
it looks pretty cool. Yeah.
And so
You're just like walking down the street and then you turn a corner and there's like a 10-foot massive blue
Oni with like
Oni.
tiger and
like everyone takes the picture there.
Yeah.
I've just searched it. Joe, you're right. Jigoku Dani.
Oh, it was
Wow.
brilliant.
Hell Valley.
Yeah.
So Jigoku, I guess, means hell.
Hell.
Yeah. And
So,
yeah.
And like we stayed in a ryokan there. It was actually my first onsen experience in Japan. Well, first public onsen experience in Japan. So it was
Nice.
I have tattoos, so that can be like kind of difficult to work around, but it was fine here. And then they have like loads of different trails that you can walk along. So there's one that leads to like a foot bath. There's one that leads to like loads of different sulfur springs.
Yeah. And the best thing about Noboribetsu is from, again, 2 days there and back, but from Sapporo,
50 minutes.
Yeah, and usually if you book a hotel, they have a free shuttle bus that will bring you there midday and take you back the next morning. So everything is easily accessible.
Like accessible. Everything, you are in the mountains, like completely in the mountains. You're like the altitude is ridiculous there, so everything is beautiful.
Yeah. I really like Noboribetsu.
And so the kind of main draw of it is Jigoku Dani. So it's like
it looks like hell, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like
it looks
when you
like
see
hell.
the
so it's like
plumes
these
of smoke coming
orange
out of the ground.
cliffs with like this green blue water, like grey horrible thing coming down the sides, and they have a pathway that runs directly through the middle of it.
Yeah.
So you can just walk into the middle of this fucking chasm.
Yeah.
And smell the nasty egg shit, but that is really cool to see. And they have so many like nature walks around there and paths to take and things to see, and it's just such a cool experience. It's kind of like the closest that you'd get to Kyushu kind of thing.
So you're going to say closest you get to hell.
I mean, also, or you could just go to Osaka.
Yeah. Kyushu is obviously Kyushu is renowned for that kind of like more scenic beauty, and especially southern Kyushu as well. But
onsen are ripe there, and that's the other thing is like you get the very bottom of Japan, Kyushu, which is known for onsen, and also Hokkaido, which is quite famous for its onsen.
Yeah,
like
go on.
Josanke.
Good link, because that was exactly the link that I was going to do. Josanke, which is the kind of onsen place in Hokkaido.
30 minutes south of Sapporo.
Yeah, you can get there so quickly. And the onsens there are
world renowned.
Amazing.
Like they are nationwide.
Yeah,
famed for their onsen, and it's also for their curry. Curry and onsen
curry
together.
and onsen, which is a very strange but enjoyable
and
experience.
they have like a massive dam, which is a really cool place to go and look at. And you can have like this litany of onsen there for you to stay in with like ryokan and hotels for you to stay in.
Yeah, and if you're thinking, but I'm going there in winter, I'm not going to be able to go to an onsen. Onsens are made for winter, especially in Josanke. They have
outdoor.
You go in and then there's a door, you go into the outdoor onsen, and if it's like snowing and you've got the whole mountains and you're there in a fucking boiling onsen, just experiencing like
and that's the thing,
nature,
is like,
and you can see some like squirrels and nature animals. Squirrels and nature and animals. Oh my!
And that's the thing as well is, so for most people who are traveling to Japan, the picture of onsen in their head is very much what Josanke is, where it's like this outdoor thing, like stoned, archaic, really cool looking. It looks very much like a quite natural hot spring, but that's been made for...
Yeah, the hotel's kind of built around it, so it's like,
exactly.
Really well done.
So Josanke is great.
Before we get to Sapporo, the only other major... I mean, there's a lot of beautiful towns, especially eastern Hokkaido, which neither of us have actually been to, so we can't speak in detail about that.
Again, that's something that I want to do, but it's just...
Yeah.
Because it's
if someone wants to sponsor us to travel to eastern Hokkaido, then please let me know.
Yeah, I was going to say, hit me up, but it's like...
Just a chat, truly yours.
Yeah. It's like an 8-hour drive out there. So it's but I want to go bear spotting. Like, that's what I want to go and find some fucking Hokkaido brown bears.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
The only other major town or city kind of this, like, around Sapporo is Asahikawa. Have you ever been there? So
I'm shaking my head for Well, I was going to say audio
Yeah,
listener, but
he's
everyone's an audio listener.
So it's kind of about 2 hours from Sapporo by car. It's nice. It's a lot smaller and quieter than Sapporo. There's a Gossip there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's 3. There's one in Hakodate as well. Gossip is like a club,
Where
by the way.
Where the fuck is the one in Hakodate?
Like a really shit club. It's really bad. I mean, it was good, and then it just went downhill. It's kind of the gateway to a lot of the mountains. If you want to climb, you go to Asakawa and you stay there, and then you can climb.
Because that's why I've never been, because I have absolutely zero interest in climbing up a fucking mountain.
But you know the 100 most beautiful mountains in Hokkaido. You know, there's that famous book,
right?
And it's like, I think every Japanese person knows this, like, or they're taught it in geography class or whatever. There's like 100 famous mountains, and I think like 40 of them are just in Hokkaido alone.
Yeah.
And so everyone goes to Asahikawa to stay there, climb a mountain, go down, climb another mountain. It's also got Yote, which is...
No, Yote is the opposite direction.
Oh, no, sorry. I mean, like, Hokkaido also has Yote,
which is Fuji
called
of the North.
Fuji of the North, yeah.
Because it's
all Fuji.
Mount fucking Fuji.
Yeah,
it's
quality.
It's much smaller, but you wouldn't think it on seeing it, because it is this absolute monolith that just comes out from nowhere.
Yeah.
So there's towns around it near the bottom, very much like Hakone and Fuji. And then you're just travelling, and then there's just this absolute great wallop of a fucking, like, thing in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. It is like otherworldly.
Yeah. So like, if you're coming here to hike, cycle,
I don't know why you
ski,
would,
snowboard,
snowboard very much so.
Any sports, any outdoor sports, honestly, Hokkaido is the place for you.
Is that actually something we even considered when we were planning this?
What?
Winter sports. That's like Hokkaido's main draw for 5 months of the year.
Yeah, I've got it written down, mate. Because I plan my shit.
Oh, excuse me, I've got notes written in front of me. That's the first time.
No proof, yeah, it is. And you've done a little drawing as well, I can see.
It's me.
If you're a skier, if you're a snowboarder, come to Hokkaido.
I mean, you are, for all intents and purposes, a skier.
I am.
I am a trier, and I did not try very hard. Well, I did, and then
you
my legs did not
and then,
work.
Yeah, your legs were against you.
Doesn't Hokkaido have...
Niseko.
Yeah,
Niseko is
isn't
the
it
best...
like the best powder in the world?
Yeah, it's best powder in the world. My dad knows about her, and he's a fucking quality skier. I hope he doesn't hear this, because I always say shit, because, like, dad-son rivalry.
Daddy Spindler. Oh, God.
Daddy
Spindler.
Oh, Daddy.
Daddy Spindler, you're whack at skiing.
And, yeah, honestly, Niseko is the best. There's places you can ski elsewhere in Japan, like Nagano, things like that. But Hokkaido is the shit for skiing. Yeah, literally. And it's got so many resorts from Sapporo. You can even stay in Sapporo and take day trips. Talking of Sapporo. Save the best city to last.
I'm just going to keep saying Sapporo over and over.
Technically number 3 on this list. Yeah, Hakodate is better than Sapporo.
The thing is with Hakodate is it's a really nice city. It's not a proper city though. It's not big. I don't think it should be big enough to be like considered a city. Yeah. Hakodate has Mount Hakodate, which used to be in like the top 3 night views in Japan.
Yeah.
It was then 1-2 punched. Fuck off out of here, because now Sapporo, Mount
Moiwa took its place.
Took its place. It's a great view from Hakodate. It's absolutely teeming with tourists, and it's impossible to actually get a good view of it. I also went when the ropeway was down and had to take a 20-minute bus ride up those hills, and that bus driver was a maniac. It was terrifying. And it was like packed, like you could not move.
Jeez.
But Hakodate as well, it had like, you said like Goyokaku. It's got the famous market, which is really cool. I caught a squid there and ate it.
What's that place? Lucky Piero?
Lucky Piero. It's a burger chain that's found, I say a chain, but it's found only in Hakodate. Yeah. There's 40 restaurants throughout Hakodate, and it's like, it's so cheap, it's so good.
Why is it only there?
So bad for you. I think it's a point of pride. It's a tourism thing. Like if they moved it elsewhere, less people would go to Hakodate. But Sapporo is better.
Speaking of Sapporo, let's do this properly, because we live in Sapporo.
And the truth of Sapporo is that we really love it here. And we understand that we talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
That's how we are. But we want to represent Sapporo properly. We want to do it proud.
So why don't we go season to season? Because did you know Japan has 4 seasons?
You know, I've never, like, everyone's there like, oh, Japan has 4 seasons, blah, 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 and they, like, tell everyone.
Yeah.
I've never, like, experienced that.
Have you not? I mean, like, ask your students. This is something for you, like, listeners. Japanese people think that only Japan has 4 seasons. It's mad. Sometimes they ask me, they're like, oh, does England have winter? I'm like, yeah.
Clearly haven't been to my
And they're like, does it have spring? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, Sugai. I'm like,
I mean, my mom sent me a
f-
picture of fucking Birmingham with like cherry blossoms and stuff. So instead of going to Tokyo, just
go to Birmingham. Just go to
my
Birmingham.
street in Birmingham.
Yeah. So let's start with winter in Sapporo.
Which is, for Sapporo, Sapporo is the second snowiest city on Earth, behind only Aomori in the north of Honshu in Japan.
Yeah, it gets the most snowfall
so
every single year. Which, if you're a skier, still fucking annoys you. Trust me. Like, I love skiing. But when we have 6 months of winter,
and
it's a bit long.
And that is, for me, one of the only bad things about living here.
It's dark every day.
It does drag. It does get a bit miserable. But for those of you who are visiting for like a brief period of time, it's wonderful because you get
experience.
For a lot of people who live in other warm Asian countries that don't necessarily experience snow, which is what a lot of what Hokkaido's tourism is. It's obviously Asian countries because it's more accessible.
Yeah,
they get to come here and sometimes see snow for the first time or just experience it at length, which is a special thing for them. For us, we have to deal with 5 months of it, so it gets very fucking old at that point. But so much of Sapporo is them having to not work around the snow, but make the most of this situation. Case in point, the Snow Festival, which is Sapporo's biggest tourism draw. It brings in I think it was about 2 million tourists exclusively for that.
Shit.
Probably more now. Maybe not so much this year because of the coronavirus fears. Last year, I know, was absolutely huge.
Well, it was kind of going on right at the start when it broke out in Wuhan, China.
Yeah, and the problem is
everyone was just like, oh yeah, there's loads of Chinese people in Japan now.
Because the Snow Festival does attract a lot of Chinese people.
Yeah, a lot of Chinese people come.
Because of proximity.
Yeah.
And it's easy for them to travel to. But
because I remember saying, you went with your brother, but I was just like, I don't want to go because usually I go there and I catch influenza.
Right.
But now there was this other disease, corona, coming out.
And I wouldn't have gone had it not been for my brother being here, who came with one of the intentions of going there. So I had to honour that, and I didn't mind so much. But
I mean, Sapporo Snow Festival, it is nice. When you're there for 20 minutes, you're like, this is amazing. Then you start taking a picture. Then you start going on to the next block and you take a picture. Then you go on to the next block. Then you start realising that even though you're wearing gloves, your hands are fucking freezing.
Yeah.
Then you realise that everyone's like bumping into you. Then you realise that every picture's kind of the same.
Yeah.
And then it kind of drags out.
We do undersell it from the perspective of someone who lives here because we experience it, and it is a novelty that has worn off for us.
I mean, that was my experience the first time, to be honest.
That's fair enough. We are miserable though.
Yeah.
But so for the people do come here, and it is this absolute spectacle with 50 feet ice sculptures being made. It's so
by the
intricate, and
Japanese army.
Yeah, and so each year it's held in Odori Park, which is kind of one of the most famous views of Sapporo. If you've not seen it, it's essentially, so Odori translates to large street, and it's like 12 blocks, and each block is just like this little park area of grass with benches. There's a few fountains, and it just stretches from north.
Yeah, separates the north and the south.
Yeah, from east to west. And the reason it was built in the first place was to prevent the spreading of fires.
Yeah.
So because of obviously.
Surprised you knew that. How did you know that? I was saving that to surprise you. How do you know that?
I'm a Sapporo nerd. I genuinely I love all of this shit. So I read about it.
Right, I was waiting for the listeners. I was going to
surprise
be like, oh yeah, it was to prevent fires back in the day, and then you just said it, and you just ruined.
I ruined it, but it's okay because we love Sapporo.
I mean, to be honest, I'm happy that you know it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So obviously, when things were originally made out of wood, it was to prevent the spread of fires or the ability to get it under control. And then, so Odori Park, each section of the park has a different feature. So this year in Nichome, I think, so they had Ainu, which is the indigenous people of Hokkaido, which is maybe something that we'll get to a later point. Or it might be its own podcast because the indigenous people of...
I knew you would say that.
Okay. And then they have things like international relations, so they have things like the Finnish cathedral or a Polish government building.
Oh, yeah, they just have random buildings, yeah.
And then they have community-made ones, other things like Hatsune Miku because she originated in Sapporo, the character, and just everything
Whatever's famous this year.
Yeah, and the Snow Festival started in 1950, I think it... I think this is its This was its 72nd year, so would that be 48? I can't do maths. Was it 58? No, because that's my mum's birthday and she's not that old. Or was it 71st? 71st, because last year was 70.
Well, keep talking and I'll do some research.
All right, and it originally started with a bunch of high school boys going into the park and making ice.
Everything starts with high school students in Japan.
It's true, and it's cool. And they go, especially their porn, but they go and make these snow sculptures, and it catches on, and every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and now...
Talking of getting bigger now, the first Sapporo Snow Festival was held in 1950.
1950?
Yeah.
So this is the 71st year. So it's a long-standing thing. It's the biggest tourism pool here because they have to make the most out of the snow.
Yeah.
Somehow in the ice, and it's very much a thing where the Jietai, the not army, the defense force, I guess.
Yeah, it's called the defense
They
force.
come in, they ship snow from all around Hokkaido to make these things, and it is a spectacle, and it's something that a lot of people have seen, a lot of people have experienced, and
I think because this is my 7th year now in Japan, and I think more and more people are slowly coming to Hokkaido
Very
and
much
Sapporo in winter.
yeah.
Places are getting busier and busier, which is annoying for me, but okay.
Yeah, it's annoying for the people who live here, but again, we can't really complain much because tourism is so much what drives the city.
But winter, very much a big thing. If you're a skier, or if you just want to experience something you've never experienced before,
Like the
as in the snow festival, onsens, skiing, winter is great. Next, spring.
Spring, obviously famous in Japan, throughout the world for sakura.
Yep.
We get it, like a month later than the rest of the
We
country?
get it, a month and a half later
So we get
than
it
the
like
rest of the
late
country.
April, early May. It's
Early May.
Golden Week.
And literally, we get it in Golden Week, which is a series of national holidays in Japan altogether. So usually, there's like a
it should
week
be called
off.
Golden 5 days because we
Golden-
never
yeah.
get a week off.
No, we don't. Well, we did last year.
But
we
that
got
was
10
special.
days. That was special. It was like the
Yeah.
first time in like 50 years.
Thank
or
you,
something.
Emperor.
Cheers, mate. Sakura, it comes start of May,
Late April, yeah.
and it kind of only lasts for maybe 4 or 5 days here.
4 or 5 days properly in bloom, but that's similar to the rest of the country. But again, it's something that is very prevalent in Hokkaido. You can go for viewings in places like Nakajima Park, which is famous, I guess. But I mean, it's very close to the city centre.
Yeah,
it's very popular for Hanami.
Yeah,
shit.
well, it also marks the end of a long 6-month winter, like Game of Thrones kind of winter. So when we have Hanami, which is literally having a party under the cherry blossom, Hokkaido people love it because we've endured such a longer winter
than the rest
that we
of the world.
celebrate, and we have barbecues and we have picnics and we play football or soccer. Because all my American friends, before I met you, not that we're dating, all my friends were just like, we're going to play soccer this year. And I'm like, we can, but if you call it football.
So the Lilac Festival is in May, which is it's more of a low-key situation in Odori. It's very much, let's celebrate Hokkaido's produce. Let's also celebrate maybe foreign produce that we, from maybe restaurants in the area that specialise in things that aren't from Japan. So they have like Mexican, Spanish, Brazilian,
all foods around
European.
the world. The temperature as well in spring in Hokkaido
can be a
bit nippy, but we don't get the monsoon that the rest of Japan has.
Hokkaido doesn't get a rainy
so
season.
we kind of have maybe a few days of rain or bits of rain here and there, but it doesn't rain cats and dogs like it does in Tokyo.
We don't have the monsoon rainy season, which is really nice because we had enough with the
we had to,
and everything.
So it kind of give and take. Like the snow, usually in winter, I reckon this year the coldest, I checked my phone, in Sapporo this year was like -14, which is usually colder than normal. Usually it's about -10.
-10. It does get to about -15 depending on where it is.
Spring, a bit hotter, I would say maybe 10, 15 every day.
10 to 15,
And that leads us on to summer. Which is Saiko, which means like the best. Awesome.
So, because obviously a lot of Japan gets incredibly humid and the heat is almost unbearable. I remember I was in Osaka and it was 38 degrees, but the temperature thing was like, it feels like 42. And I was like, are you fucking telling me? I'm sweating through everything. Like, there is sweat in places that I didn't know could sweat. The inside of my mouth is sweating. But like, it's Sapporo.
My sweat is sweating,
True. Sapporo is much milder and it's better for it. So we get probably an average in July and August of about 30 degrees. Late 20s, early 30s.
Exactly.
And, I mean, it's still definitely enough for my white ass to get horrendously burn.
Yeah.
But it's so much more manageable than the
It
rest
is.
of
We
Japan.
get a nice soft wind as well because
Yeah.
we're near the coast, and it's very nice. Everyone just relaxes, and it's the most attractive prefecture and city for a reason,
So come and
because
see it in the sun.
it's people escape the sun from southern Japan to come here, and they can just relax and be leisurely and just enjoy
Leisurely's a big thing.
a beer in the sun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Oh, beer in the sun. So the festival, the summer festival, the
Yeah.
big boy,
Oh.
is the beer festival.
Oh,
And that brings us on to also beer, which is, aside from winter sports and cuisine, which we
Yeah.
might talk about if we get time, Sapporo beer.
Sapporo Classic.
Sapporo Classic.
Yeah, because there's two. There's the Sapporo Kuro Raberu, which is black label.
Yeah.
And you can buy that pretty much everywhere in Japan, worldwide as well. It's also on tap.
Yeah.
But Sapporo Classic is only Sapporo. Sometimes, as you said previously, we can...
They'll do like a limited
You
thing.
can buy
where
it
they'll
occasionally elsewhere in Japan, but you cannot get Classic, I believe, elsewhere in the world.
be- Yeah.
And it tastes, for me, it tastes so good. It's like a light, crispy
Lager,
beer,
yeah.
but everyone loves it, and especially the beer gardens. It's packed.
Yeah, so Sapporo absolutely loves its beer gardens, and the beer festival itself is, again, in Odori. There's like 12
Yeah.
blocks. I think the beer festival takes up 6 or 7, maybe 8.
Yeah.
And each block is a different beer brand. So it's like Asahi do one, and each one has food stalls and everything like that. And
Sexy
like
waitresses,
Oh yeah, I mean,
short skirts.
well,
Yeah.
that's men.
yeah.
But no, so there's like Kirin Ichiban, Sapporo, Asahi, Yebisu, all of that bollocks
Yeah.
that's not Sapporo.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where if you love the idea of going into like if you're from England, especially where pub gardens are the huge beer gardens
Yeah.
in England where you'd go and sit at like a picnic table, drink a beer, and this is perfect for you.
It's
Sit
like
there with a bunch
it's
of,
like one big
yeah.
picnic table,
and
yeah.
the atmosphere is always really good there.
Really, everyone's friendly as well. Like everyone's just having a good time,
Yeah.
getting off work, enjoying the temperature.
And you can get these. They're not like kegs. They're just like these massive towers of beer that you can.
You
buy
can get
to
kegs
share.
as well, though.
Yeah, you can get kegs as well.
Yeah, the
so
towers.
it's just summer is very much. It's like a time of beer in Sapporo. And
Yeah.
I'm not even that big of a beer drinker, but
Yeah.
in Sapporo, I'm just like I gotta do it. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
one of
yeah.
those things that you have to do. And even then, like there are obviously many other options. It's just great to go sit outside in really nice, manageable weather.
Yeah.
Enjoy local drinks. Enjoy the the regional cuisine of Sapporo and Hokkaido, which is, I would argue, and a lot of other people would argue, the best in Japan.
Yeah.
With things like soup curry and Genghis Khan, with the founders of miso ramen.
Yeah.
Miso ramen originated here.
Yeah.
The seafood here is some of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Arguably the best in Japan. Again, other people's words, not mine.
You can experience a lot in that small place. You can experience a festival, beer, food, culture,
Yeah.
entertainment,
Exactly.
the weather. You can experience everything in that one small place, and everyone's experiencing it together.
It's like Odori is very much like the hub of Sapporo as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the epicenter. It's right between Sapporo Station and Susukino. Susukino being the entertainment district, Sapporo being more like business district.
Yeah.
But also Sapporo being, in terms of travel, the middle of the ground. But then in one line you have, and it's like a mile and a half long, Sapporo, Odori, Susukino, Nakajima Koen.
Yeah.
And it's just one straight line.
Yeah.
And there's throughout the summer there's festivals going on all throughout. There's the Susukino festival as well.
Yeah.
And it's just
Non-stop. Non-stop.
It's
Yeah,
non-stop,
yeah.
and it's
In a good
such
way.
a nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it never outstays its welcome as well.
No.
It's just it's such a great place to
Yeah.
go.
And quickly, before we move on to autumn, beaches. Hokkaido doesn't just have the ski resorts, it's got beaches.
Not the best beaches.
Not the
though.
best beaches,
One of
but it
one of
does
its
have them.
shortcomings. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you go a bit further out, if you go kind of 2 hours from the city, you can find some really nice
Which
beaches.
for most people is something that
Yeah.
you'd be willing to do for a day trip. Like
Yeah.
2 hours is nothing, especially
Yeah.
for people like from America where 2 hours is a trip to the shops for some
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
I
exactly.
just think we were a bit spoiled in England where it's such a
Yeah.
short distance, everything.
Yeah, summer definitely the best season, I think, and that's why I assume maybe this study was taken maybe during all seasons, but especially summer, because Hokkaido just shows its beauty during summer.
Autumn is
still very good weather, temperature.
Autumn also has the best Sapporo festival, the Autumn Festival.
The Autumn Fest, yeah.
It has the, like, we were talking about atmosphere. Oh boy, like the Autumn Festival kicks it up a notch because it's less focused on beer and more like artisanal Hokkaido foods. Let's get some local talent to like play the stages in Odori. Let's get literally a whole area that's dedicated entirely to Sapporo food, to Hokkaido food. All the surrounding areas, they get like local vendors to come in and just put on display what
it's nice actually. In the stall, whenever you get food, it maybe there's a Japanese person in there, but it's always served by someone from that country. So if you're getting something from America, there'll be maybe an American person who speaks Japanese serving it to you.
A lot of like
something
Indian
from
food,
Spain.
Thai food, like Brazilian, Peruvian, everything like that. So they have. It's very much just a gastronomic celebration. Like they have so many drinks on offer, so much food, and it's it's like, let's celebrate Hokkaido, but let's celebrate everything else because Hokkaido kind of Sapporo especially owes a lot to multiculturalism. It feels like there's always a celebration going on, and that's the problem with winter is the ice festival feels like something for tourists. Every other festival in Sapporo feels like let's celebrate Hokkaido, and Hokkaido deserves to be celebrated. My parting thoughts.
Here we go.
Is the
Joe? Hang on. Let's send this on a high. So, like, I'm not going to mince my words, but Hokkaido is the biggest and best prefecture.
It is very
because
large.
Literally it is the biggest prefecture, and literally according to this study online that I forgot the name of, is the best. But now, everyone, please listen in for Joe's parting words. Joe, take it away.
Oh, this is pressure now. I'm going to need to collect my thoughts if we're going to put me under this much pressure. Sapporo is very much a world apart from the rest of Japan, but it will provide you with everything that you want from a trip to Japan. It is inherently Japanese. It has the shrines, it has mountains, it has like those Blade Runner moments with everything in neon, but it will also kind of give you something different. Transport, mostly not in winter, is really good, is fantastic and reliable. It's what you'd expect from Japanese public transport. It's what you want in a more manageable and palatable package. It provides you anything that you would want elsewhere, but just in this nicely presented thing that doesn't have a 38 million population.
Because I've travelled a bit around Japan, I assume you have too. I seriously think Sapporo is the best city and Hokkaido is the best prefecture.
Yeah.
And from a lot of my friends who have left thinking, I want to get a better job, so I'm going to go to Tokyo, the one thing they always say, they either want to come back or they do.
Yeah.
And that is... You don't need any more words than that, really.
Like, testimonies from people who have visited, my family and friends, and they come here, not necessarily, I won't say they don't expect much, but they always leave with the same attitude, and that's that they absolutely love Sapporo.
I think the people as well, are more relaxed here.
Very much
I mean, they still work kind of like 50 hours a day.
But generally, it is, and it's the same thing as going to London and elsewhere, is that people in larger cities tend to be moving at a quicker pace. They tend to be a bit more miserable. In Hokkaido, it's more leisurely. People are more relaxed. They're friendlier. They take more time to help you if you need it, or they just give off a better vibe.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you. Sapporo is the best. Woo, number one, baby.
Well, it's the Hokkaido podcast, so Hokkaido is also the best.
No, Sapporo, baby.
Sapporo.
No, Sapporo and Hokkaido.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. As I said, we'll try and get some more regular podcasts coming out. Maybe one every 2 weeks, because Joe and I are... Well, we're not. I was going to say we're busy. We're not busy.
No, we are very much busy.
Well, we've got the FIFA career going.
Managing Hamburg in the Bundesliga and Champions League. Any suggestions, anything that you want to see, just shoot it in the comments and we'd be happy to do it.
Also, the girls are fucking cute here.